Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's your girl Shay Investigates, and we are back with another one. And today we are going to be doing Shirley Strawberry and Jenifer Lewis. And we're going to do some comparing and contrast, more so of how Jenifer Lewis decided that she needed to speak out after getting scammed because other women could have been scammed by her said fiance. She gave him $50,000. She thought she was investing into like some type of sound design type of company, turned into a whole scam. And they had been dating for years. And just like Ernest, he had been conning people for years, particularly women, but also like Ernest, he conned men as well. It's a long rabbit hole of information, and I'm just gonna let Miss Lewis take the lead and listen to this interview that she did.
So much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Got a couple other gigs. I'm doing all right.
I'm very happy to hear that. When folks watch this episode, I think they'll be pretty surprised by the way in which you're able to talk about Antonio Wilson, because for some folks, they're really destroyed by a moment like this where they get scammed by somebody, but you're able to handle it pretty well. So first and foremost, what was it like sharing your story on American Greed? You've been out there all over the place, but Greed's a little bit different. So what was it like talking here?
Talking with American Greed made me feel like I was really helping. Like, I know the show is reputable. I know the show is good. I've seen a lot of the American Greed episodes and always pretty satisfied at the end because the bad guy gets the ass beating, as it were.
Yes, y'all. Miss Lewis said she has done the work that Miss Van Zant talks about doing, that internal self-work, also going to therapy, but doing a lot of self-work.
Was very important for me because I wanted to help other women. It's simple as that. When something this horrible happens to you, I knew that with all the work that I had done on myself in therapy for my bipolar disorder, etc., I knew if I was in as much pain as I was, what other women must be suffering who don't have those tools. So I didn't really hesitate to tell this story. Just got blackish and boom. I said, oh, God sent the man.
That's what I've been saying. Shirley Strawberry has done no work. Shirley Strawberry pretends as if everything's okay when it's not okay. And other women look up to you, Miss Strawberry, just like how other women look up to Miss Lewis. She talks about the red flags. She talks about how he said everything that she wanted to hear. She talks about how he researched her. He found her likes, her dislikes. He looked at every single thing he could find on her.
I was very proud of myself for giving American Greed this story and knowing that they would treat it with the respect that it deserves. So he bumped into me as I was exiting the gym, and it happened to be just a happy day. So when he did, I smiled and said, excuse me, and he smiled back. He complimented my hair, and I kind of flirted with him. He flirted with me, and we met for coffee.
Your words are going to help a lot of people. There's no question about that. It's not only people who have been conned by this man, but it's other people. Listen, this happens all the time, unfortunately.
We've all been betrayed. Yeah. We've all been betrayed at some point in our lives. He said he had graduated from Oxford University. He'd been a Navy SEAL. His mother had passed away. He had 2 children and was divorced. We're all human. Even though I am a celebrity, I am human. But I tell everybody, look, I used the bathroom just like you did this morning. So we're all in this together.
She was a target. And I'm sure Ernest was Shirley's target as well. He researched Shirley. He had to. He had to know that she was desperate and she wanted to be loved. I'm just saying, because he had a whole girlfriend that he dropped who was also in radio. So this just seems like he wanted something that was better and he could use it more and reach other people more. I really can't say that Shirley Strawberry is a celebrity. I can say that she is a co-host on a radio talk show, and some people may know her in that sector. If you have to be up early in the morning, you need something to listen to, she's going to be it for you. Now, Jen Lewis, she definitely is a celebrity. She definitely is like Black celebrity royalty because she's been acting for so long. She's been in all different kind of movies.
When things traumatize us, it's very, very, very difficult to talk about. But we must force ourselves because that's the first step to healing.
So Jenifer, let's talk about it. Let's go back to when you met Antonio Wilson, because as people find out in this episode, and as you found out, he had a different name. He had been in and out of prison. He had conned other women.
Well, he was beautiful. He was handsome, well-spoken. He was educated. I mean, what woman wouldn't, sit up when someone says they graduated from Oxford?
The bottom line is I wasn't paying attention. See, that's my grandiosity, my delusions of grandeur, my omnipotence. I own my part of it. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't think anything in the world could happen to me like that. It's an awakening. It's real. You have to put that horror story into your book chapters of your life, as it were. But what matters is, what did you do about it? What are you prepared to do about it? Do you fall apart?
When you tell, it is so freeing. You're not holding it in.
She was brutally honest. And, she said, because of this experience, I had to go to therapy again. I battled depression again. Those are real feelings. And the fact that she's in the public eye and she talked about that kind of speaks to, this is something that can happen to any woman. And this is something that can affect you.
Did I fall apart at first? Absolutely. Nobody expects that kind of betrayal in life. There was no way in hell I couldn't give this story to the public. The man was dangerous. The situation was dangerous. And we have to let each other in on the secret. There can't be any secrets. I say it over and over. We're as sick as our secrets.
It's really important to talk about it. And he messed with the wrong woman too, as you said in the episode several different times.
Yeah,
so
baby.
Give you a shout out there.
I'm sure Tony Marriott was confident that being a celebrity, I would never tell. It would be a scandal. Wrong girl. No, I tell everything. I told him, I said, you with the wrong girl, honey. You with the wrong girl, because all I got is time and money.
Well, see, here's the thing. He used his children. That was the sickest of all of it, that he used his children in a scam. And that is the reason I was determined to get him. I was determined to get him off the streets. I was determined that he would not be in a position to hurt another woman or man for that matter.
You got him.
I got justice.
AKA Tony Marriott, AKA Bryce Carrington. He had a million names.
He's now in prison for 8 years.
Let's get the facts right.
All right, so 8 years.
Here, take it.
Hit me with it.
I was conned out of $50,000 by a professional con artist. And ain't no shame in my game.
And I think therapy has been really important for you also. You mentioned it before, because at that time in your life, you have Blackish, which is a huge role for you. Your mother passes away, which is a huge trauma you're dealing with. This new relationship comes in. So when you think about it now, all these years later, how have you unpacked it and how have you processed everything that did happen in that moment for you?
It's been quite a journey, but I love life. I'm just naturally a joyful person. I was strong enough to bring myself out of it. I did the work. I got back in therapy. I took care of myself. I continued pursuing things that made me happy to balance the horror of being betrayed.
So Jenifer, since we're having an honest conversation here, when you think about the red flags that you should have seen, whether it was the fake
let's talk about the red.
Oxford, the whole thing,
here's the thing.
His
Here's
military
the
background. What's the one that you're like, damn, I should have known that one?
There were so many I should have known. But let's put it like this. One cannot be where one is not. But what have we learned? Pay attention.
And she's been on Broadway. So similar dynamics, just very different. So if Jenifer Lewis can say out her mouth that this, that, and the third has happened, and I'm telling people because I don't want this to happen to anybody, and I had accountability that I must have and show to the world that, hey, it happened to me. I'm a regular person just like you. I just happen to be a celebrity. So be on the lookout for things like this. Don't just take some man's word. And if you see red flags, get out. Don't just keep moving forward as if everything's okay. You have to do the work. You have to do what needs to be done.
I kept a private eye on him for 5 years.
Wow.
Determined to put him in jail, and I did.
You mentioned his children. What was the other motivating factor in terms of you thought to yourself, that's enough. This is now my life's focus. What was the turning point for you?
Well, the turning point was when my girlfriend showed me that he was a con.
Concerned and suspicious, friends gently caution, what does she really know about Antonio Wilson? A close girlfriend starts sleuthing Antonio Wilson's online footprint.
Shout out to your girlfriend. Can we give her some love here? Because
Shout out, love, 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 love. Always keep people around you. Keep good friends in your life that will basically tell you your boyfriend's an asshole.
She went home and researched him, went deeper into the internet looking. And then she found Bryce Carrington, his picture in my face, charged for fraud. When I met him, he had just gotten out of jail. Oh my God, it was beyond shocking.
You've got to trust your instincts. He had done so much research on me. And, you know, I'm accessible. Every interview I've ever done is on the internet. So he went in and got my deepest secrets, my buttons. He knew everything. He was a professional. Yes, I should have seen it, but I wasn't looking.
Miss Lewis talks about, trauma. And I watched another interview with her, and she talks about being, assaulted as a child by the pastor, and how her mom just said, keep quiet with it. And so I think that's her driving force of speaking out, because she was dimmed as a child, not only by someone that did things to her inappropriately, but also by her mom just pretending like as if it didn't happen. So she's like, no, we're going to stand on business, and business needs to be said. And yes, this is something that's super hard to move forward with, but it must be said. Work must be done with it. And women out here, hear my experience. Hear that if this happens to you, it has happened to other women. So be on the lookout. She's looking out for the next woman. Shirley Strawberry is not. Shirley Strawberry is pretending as if everything's okay. And then you have the fans that are saying, hey, why are you going to get Shirley Strawberry like this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Because she has not done the work. Someone might say, well, who are you to say do the work? I am someone who watches her give advice to women about how they should move forward in life. So if you have done no internal work, how can you give advice about doing work that you have not done? That's like saying, I'm going to solve this math problem, but I'm not really solving it. I'm just going to pretend that I solved it and say that X equals this. What? No, you need to do the work you need to do the different steps in order to solve the problem. And then voila, you have solved this mathematical problem. In Shirley's case, she still needs to solve the problem of doing the internal work, saying things that need to be said out loud for people that have been hurt, people that want answers and they get nothing. And someone say, well, who are we to want these answers? We are the people that pay her salary. We listen to her advice on said radio show. So when you are in the spotlight in that way, giving advice, then you open up all doors to be analyzed. Just as simple as that. I could just see if it was Shaquana or Sean down the street doing this, then maybe, we probably wouldn't know her story to analyze, but who are we to analyze her? She's not giving advice. I would hope she's not giving advice. But if she was, I hope she did some work on herself, maybe went to therapy, maybe had a life coach, etc., etc., etc. But if you've done the work, I don't think that you are the best person to tell this said story of how you should do it this way or that way. I'm just saying. That's all I got, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. And I'm out. Put it in the comments as well. I want to hear what y'all think about this.